Hey, what's up team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. This video is going to combine the cognitive functions as archetypes and characters and the Enneagram, and specifically type 9 for INFPs. So INFP, type 9s, this video should be very important to you, so please get ready for it. If you haven't watched it, the characters as archetypes in you video and the INFP 4-member questing model video are pretty important. Okay, I'm going to skip past most of that stuff and get right into the good stuff here. So if you haven't seen those, please pause it and watch it. If you're not an INFP or a type 9, this still should be very helpful for you, kind of helps you understand the metaphors behind the whole thing and how we work. If you have any INFPs or type 9s in your life, it might be helpful. I know there are other type 9s that are not INFPs. If you want me to get into that, I'll do that at some other point. So getting started, the 4 characters within the INFP 4-member questing model are, you have a priest, you have a gunslinger, you have a guardian, and you have a geomancer. The priest is your dominant function. It's introverted feeling, and it's a priest. It's there to maintain the peace. It's good-natured. It's not going to cause too many problems. It throws out shields and heals on people and stuff like that. This is your dominant function. This is your hero. Okay. The companion is the gunslinger, extroverted intuition, exploring, kind of wild in that sense, balances and supports your hero. The tertiary function is the newbie, introverted sensing. It's the guardian style, sword and board, usually slow, methodical, practiced, habit, kind of relying on what worked in the past to stabilize the present and the future. And then the anti-hero, the 4th function, the inferior function, so many names. This is the geomancer, and it's taking the environment, reorganizing it in order to push forward and complete goals. So you have those 4, all right? And the type 9 through the Enneagram is called the peacemaker or peace seeker or mediator. Tons of different names, but that basically encompasses that whole description of INFPs. You know, you have this priest style that wants to just maintain the harmony. Pretty simple with that. The essence is awareness. Basically, this, from my understanding, is like the idea that underneath everything that we see and experience, there is nothing. So you look at something and then you take out a magnifying glass, you go in a little deeper and you see the actual pieces that make up that thing. And then you go in deeper and you see the pieces that make up those pieces, and deeper, and eventually there's just empty space. And that empty space can be comforting. It's just that we are able to exist as we are, and we don't need to create all these false images and be afraid of anything and, you know, fight for our lives or whatever. It's just complete peace within the emptiness that shows us that we're actually all connected. That, I think, can definitely be an introverted feeling, kind of this priest mindset of like just wanting to build harmony with other people, wanting to not create these problems or anything like that, and just kind of fully fuse ourselves with other people on a deep level, not a physical level. Next is the holy idea, divine love. Divine love is the idea that we are all made of love. And our goal is to maintain and create that love. Introverted feelers are definitely a lot of times in that place. Sometimes we can lose control. But, as a priest, we're definitely trying to maintain love. This is largely, within the Enneagram and the Type 9, we have this idea that we are loving people. We need to maintain that love, and in order to do that, that's when all these other problems, these things come out, like our defense mechanism, which is self-narcotization, just putting ourselves asleep so that we don't create problems, so that we can maintain the love. So our kind of quest within this 4-member questing model and the Enneagram Type 9 is to spread that love and to just help the world on a deeper level. The holy path is through right action. Right action is largely contained within our anti-hero, within the inferior function. It's what we're just really bad at naturally. We take action, especially when it's something very important to us. When we connect it with our priest style and we have these values attached to it and these true core beliefs attached to it, we will take action on that. But if it's not, then we don't really take action. Extroverted thinking and this geomancer style is all about taking action, actionable steps to reach a goal. The geomancer is going to reshape the terrain, the world around, the elements, and use them as a path to reach the goal. And we really need to connect to that anti-hero style, that geomancer style, if we're going to spread this divine love throughout the world. If we're actually going to be at peace with the world. So there's that. The chief feature is indolence. Indolence is habitual lack of action. It's going out of your way to avoid meaningful work. The priest, combined with the gunslinger companion, are very good at not doing meaningful work. We'll start a task. We're okay, let's go help this town. We'll run over there, and on the way, the gunslinger will be hey, what about that? And let's go fight these goblins over here because they're bad. And then we go over there, and then, since we're over here, then we want to kind of continue in that direction and explore over here because this town needs help too. And it's just kind of constantly funneling energy into inessential activities. You have these two working together, trying to be good, trying to spread this love and take right action in their style, right? But it just gets siphoned off into other things. This is also connected to the passion of laziness. Indolence and laziness are pretty much synonyms, but it's just the quality of being lazy. It's slow moving, it's turgid, which was a very good word to describe it, which is basically just this slow moving, swollen, like a big black thick river of tar, or just limbs that are just too big and you just can't move them. It's sloth, it's laziness. And I feel that actually is better represented through the priest and the newbie, the guardian style. Your guardian is not on that same level of heroicness as the hero. It's like it's just that the comic relief, basically, right? Or the kind of reckless style. Like it's either Leroy Jenkins or Pippin and Merry from Lord of the Rings. Okay, so it's just not quite there. And this, I feel, is when the priest is listening to the guardian, and the guardian is just being slow and putting his shield up and like, I'm going to slowly walk in there and do the right thing. And then it's just, you just don't do it. So it's very slow moving. The priest is like, I'm ready to shield you, just waiting for you to go in there. Okay, you don't want to go in there. You're just stuck in your habits, right? So you're just not doing anything really productive. So you have the kind of dynamics between the introverted feeling and extroverted intuition, as well as the introverted feeling and introverted sensing. That inability, or imagined inability, to take steps to do something, right? Next is the idealization. I am comfortable, or I am peaceful. Us introverted feelers, us priests are cool. We're just chill, like most of the time, unless something like really rustles our jimmies. But we're okay. I can handle this. I know my emotions for the most part, so I can handle whatever comes up. So I don't really need to worry about much. And if you want to do this, then that's fine. Let's do that, because it's not going to kill me, right? I'm okay with it. It's that idea, that feeling of just, I'm okay, I'm comfortable, I'm peaceful. There's nothing that can really happen that's going to deter me from anything, and I'm just okay, right? So you have that idea. I am comfortable. The priest is like, it's okay. You know, I can keep you healed up and shielded, and we're fine. The companion, the gunslinger, is like, it's fine. I can think of all these different other possibilities and options. And, you know, whatever happens, there will be these other pathways that we can go. Don't need to worry about it. The newbie, the guardian style is like, well, in my past, in my experiences, I've had to deal with these other things, and I'm here today. I'm alive, it's fine. You know, there's no worry, right? And still, your anti-hero is not really there. He's doing his own thing. As the anti-hero, his style is different than your dominant style, your hero style. So he has his own priorities that only come out, for the most part, when you're really stressed out. And when you can't do the hero-y stuff, then your anti-hero is like, we'll do it my way. And he goes out there. Eventually, that is what leads you to growth and transcending the ego fixation and, you know, being at one with the universe. Is that right action. But he's not there for the most part. Or she is not there for the most part. The talking style is saga or epic stories, and it's definitely there. It's definitely there within the newbie, or not the newbie, the companion, extroverted intuition, the gunslinger. He's just full of energy and just wants to talk and talk and talk. So he's all over the place. And he's very capable of just continuing the same train of thought, going nowhere, or starting it and then just branching off into all these different directions, as you've noticed, right? And hopefully, you know, it's tailored to the priest style, meaning that it's related to emotions and values and reading people and things like that. But it's not always. The trap, again, through the companion, is also seeker. The seeker trap is always trying to just explore and look for more information about something and never actually like being connected to the current moment, which is where we're actually trying to get within this Enneagram, is to our essence of awareness, and being also in the real moment for what it is and appreciating everything like that. So you're talking to somebody and then the gunslinger is like, hey, what if this person actually meant that? But if they meant that, then this is probably the case, and then that's probably the case, and it's just kind of constantly exploring these ideas, trying to see where they take us so that we don't actually get into the real world, into combat, basically. So we can stay disconnected from the situation and protect the priest. The squishy priest needs to be in the back, right? So the gunslinger's out there exploring all these different possibilities, and then the priest is safe, not actually having things connect to them, to their feelings in a real way. This also stops you from getting angry, which is something that is completely suppressed by the type 9s. Like, it's just, we are not angry people, but deep down we really are. So the seeker, the trap, keeps us from connecting to that anger as well. The defense mechanism is self-narcotization, the ability to just put ourselves to sleep and not actually be in the moment. This was kind of explained through the priest and the newbie, the guardian dynamics. It's this idea that, you know, we'll be okay and we don't need to connect to anything in order to maintain this love, this peaceful style. You know, maybe we actually shouldn't be in this fight. Maybe we should train a little bit more and explore something else. You know, and never actually going to the following the main quest line, basically. So you have that style of just, I'm gonna put myself to sleep. And the avoidance, conflict, confrontation, again, it's all connected. The priest doesn't want conflict. I mean, their strength is healing people and protecting people, but they don't want to have to do that. Us priests don't want to see people having problems. We don't want to have problems. You know, why can't everybody just live in peace and harmony, right? But in order to use our special abilities, our superpowers, we need to have conflict so that we can heal that, we can mend it, and we can all grow through that. So we're definitely avoiding it at all costs. Our guardian puts up his shield. Nobody's gonna take damage. You know, just stay behind me. Sometimes he can mess it up or whatever, or the gunslinger's gonna just say, let's explore over here and go over there. And then we avoid that conflict, that situation, that quest line, or whatever it is, into all these different side quests all over the place. The dichotomy is believer and doubter. Within me and within INFPs, you have this deep belief that people are good for the most part, but people can do horrible things because we've been able to see that through ourselves. Like we know how deep and dark we can get. So we know that other people can do that too. And I think this has a lot to do with believer and doubter. It's this, the priest is like, I've gone from these horrible battles and wars and situations to pure bliss and joy and love. And underneath the bliss and joy and love, there's always more conflict. It's kind of what we're thinking. At least that's my understanding of the believer-doubter dichotomy. It's kind of just, a lot of times also kind of this delusion of, things will work out fine, right? There's no need to worry about it, which is also connected to everything else that I've just talked about. The subtypes are, the self-preservation one is appetite, the social is participation, and the sexual is union. So the appetite, self-preservation, is this need to control the surroundings so that we are okay. And it's not necessarily appetite just for food. It's for things and information and everything like that, just to maintain this shield around ourselves in case bad things happen. So that's how we don't get too connected, and how we kind of also self-narcotize, watch TV, play games, endlessly explore the internet, doing research for a project or a video, and then going off and doing another one instead. Like, it's just trying to bring in all this stuff to keep us from doing essential activities. The social is participation. It's this idea that we are part of a group, but a lot of times you can leave the group whenever and you're not actually really there. It's kind of like this semi-joining and not really there. So within like my friends group, I definitely feel that I'm a big part of the group, but also I just kind of sit on the sidelines a lot of times watching, right? And I think this is connected to the priest not wanting to create problems. Doesn't want to break that idea of love and being a comfortable, loving person. And also a fear of what could happen if you truly express yourself. So you just kind of stay on that boundary of being in the game and not in the game, being with the people and not with the people, in the quest group and not in the quest group. And the sexual type is union, this merging with another person, melting into the other people, and losing your sense of who you are in order to support them. There's an ability, I can't think of what it is right now, but that I was making for the priest, which is like a tethered heel, basically. So you kind of you give your life bar to another person in order to maintain more harmony and keep that person up and healthy and surviving, right? Definitely a part of all INFPs and INFP type 9s specifically, but we do prefer one of these different instincts or subtypes. Okay, so the goal here is to allow the anti-hero to join in and help out, to put us on that holy path, because up until now we've had this style, we've done things this certain way, we're trying to maintain the peace within ourselves and out of ourselves through seeking different opportunities and different ideas, avoiding conflict, putting ourselves to sleep, basically, not actually joining the fight, going slowly and siphoning off this energy into, putting a shield on the random critter that's just jumping around, right? Like, you don't need to use your resources for that, but you do. And that's the problem. So getting that anti-hero and accepting his style as part of the group and as one of, the parts of you is going to be the way to reach the true holy idea of divine love, to go on the holy path of right action. Do things because they matter. Help people instead of just ignoring the situation, asserting yourself, protecting the underdog too, just producing something that can help the world instead of being asleep and ignoring everything that's happening, right? I will explain this in another video, but definitely the problem for us INFP type 9s is this idea of, we're loving, we're trying to maintain harmony and peace. So we don't do anything. But in not doing anything, we are bad. We are creating or supporting a problem. And the more you realize that, the more you think about it that way, the more you are going to appreciate the anti-hero's style, this geomancer style, who is willing to just chuck a rock shard at somebody, drop a boulder on somebody, who is causing problems. Speed up action with oil, move things around, get things going, right? When you do that, when you embrace that, that is when you are going to be on the correct path. You're going to join the main storyline, okay? Just as a side note, I've tried to play Skyrim so many times and even Dragon Age, and I get lost. I cannot play those open world games. As much as I like them, it's because I start off on the main quest and then I'm like, well, what's over here? And I also can't read maps for poo, okay? So I start exploring something else and then my air conditioner heater goes off and it interrupts the video. And then you done? Okay. So I explore something else and then I get lost and I have no idea what the main quest line is. This is how we live our lives, okay? A lot of times we have this deep desire to help everybody and to do this right, but we don't do it because we get sidetracked by the companion who is actually there to help us. Or we don't take action because we're too connected to the newbie, or we're ignoring the anti-hero. Okay? Thank you very much for watching. I hope it was helpful. It's definitely a different style, but I am taking these videos and these ideas in this direction from now on. It's always going to be more about combining Enneagram and the cognitive functions in a game style. So that's what I'm working on, and I hope it's helpful. If it is, let me know. If it's not, let me know. I know it's a long video, but thanks for watching. Love you guys and girls. Good luck, have fun. Peace.